Welcome to JPL Cuisine, and today I am looking at taco seasonings. I headed off to HEB and I tried 15 different taco seasonings to find out which one was the McBestest. So this will be a McQuestest for the McBestest taco seasoning. So the first kind of taco seasoning I tried was the HEB brand, which is really affordable. It's like 58 cents per packet. I can usually make 2 tacos from one packet because that's the size of the tacos that I make. And it's pretty straightforward. You brown some ground beef, you drain it, you add some of the taco seasoning, and you add some water, and then you give it a stir and you simmer it for about 5 minutes. Now, the HEB brand did taste good with or without sour cream, but I think without the sour cream, I could taste the taco seasoning a bit more in terms of, just more noticeable flavor. And I think that this is really good. This is excellent. I like it a lot. It's a good brand. It's a good flavor. It's a really affordable option. So, HEB brand taco seasoning, solid choice. So the second brand that I tried was Watkins brand taco seasoning. This was a pretty good taste. I'd say it was slightly better than HEB, but it was much more expensive. Not quite sure it was worth it, to be honest. Now, the third brand that I tried was Siete. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm either too Texan or not Texan enough to say it. But anyway, this flavor was absolutely excellent. I thought it was a bit pricey, but it was an extremely good taste. It was really spicy, kind of like, balanced and everything. Really, really good flavor. I like this one a lot. I definitely recommend it. Now, the fourth flavor I tried was McCormick brand. And this is a good taste, and it's a brand that you can buy probably just about anywhere. Because if you don't live near HEB or you're going someplace that doesn't have a generic brand, you can probably get McCormick. It's probably going to be available, probably going to be pretty affordable. I'm not sure it's really that much better than the HEB brand, but again, if you can't find something like HEB for 58 cents, spend a little bit more on the McCormick. It's an affordable, it's reliable, and it's tasty. So I would say that McCormick is a pretty good seasoning. Now, the fifth seasoning that I tried was Lawry. I think that's how it's called. And this was a decent taste, but it didn't really stand out to me as being better than McCormick or HEB. It was just okay. I just wasn't over the moon for it. I wouldn't say it was terrible, though. It's reasonably tasty. Now, for number 6, it's the Pioneer brand. And this was really good. It was clearly a notch above the HEB and the McCormick in terms of spice and flavor. Definitely worth giving a shot. I like this one a lot. With or without sour cream, both tasted really good. Definitely an excellent choice. So number 7 is the El Paso brand, and I had high expectations because I'm a Texan, so El Paso has to be good, right? I think a long time ago there was some commercial about like someone trying some brand that sounded Texan, and then they look at the can, they're like, New York City! And that came to mind here because honestly, El Paso brand was just a meh for me. It didn't really stand out as particularly good. It was edible. I ate the darn thing, but it just, to me, this was like it's a swing and a miss. Anyway, number 8 is Kinder's, and this was absolutely excellent. Had excellent taste. Liked this a lot. Very spicy and packed with flavor. I think if I were to go make a taco like tomorrow, on like a moment's notice, I'd probably be like, you know what, I should probably try some Kinder's. I should probably pick that up if they. Okay, so number 9, Taco Bell seasoning, and this was average in every imaginable way. And I don't really necessarily mean that as a compliment, but I'm not really sure it's an insult either. So, moving on. All right, number 10 was, I think it's Cholula, and all I can say is, wow, this was really very unique, spicy but balanced. I looked at the label and I thought it was pretty unassuming, but this is a strong, solid choice. This is probably better than Kinder's, to be real with you. I really like this a lot. Holy cow, this was really, really good. This tasted different than anything else I tried so far. And I mean that like a good way. Like this was like definitely like a unique and bold flavor. So the 11th seasoning I tried is Siete again, but it's this El Pastor seasoning. That's different from the earlier taco seasoning that I tried. And this one is considerably different. So instead of doing what you normally do with a taco seasoning, you actually mix the ground beef and the taco seasoning in a bowl, and you let it kind of marinate for a little while, and then you just cook it straight up. And this is the result here was just okay. I wasn't really. I think that the main Siete taco flavor was much better. Also, the instructions didn't say to drain the beef, but I would definitely recommend doing that if you can at the end, safely, of course. Because it was a little bit greasy at the end, and I don't think that the directions on the back specified to drain the meat, which to me was kind of puzzling. In any case, I just wasn't that impressed by this. So the 12th seasoning that I tried was Mrs. Dash No Salt. And I had to add some salt myself, and I honestly, I just didn't like this flavor. There's no salt in this packet, and there is no love in my heart for Mrs. Dash. I suppose she's already married, though, since she hasn't Miss Dash, so she's got that going for her, at least. Anyway, that's all I had to say about Mrs. Dash. Mateo's taco seasoning. So the 13th one I tried was Mateo's. This was a really good choice. It was way better than HEB or McCormick's. I don't think it was good as some of the other choices, like the Cholula or the first Siete that I tried. But, it was pretty good. I think that it's probably worth giving a shot to if you want to try different seasonings. Now, the 14th one I tried was Carroll Shelby's. It's the Guajillo seasoning. And this, to me, it was just meh. It didn't stand out as anything special. It wasn't awful. I mean, it was okay. But I just think some of the earlier choices were just a lot better. For number 15, I also tried another Carroll Shelby's. But this one was the Ancho Jalapeno. And this was even more meh to me. It was just, kind of sad to end on a Debbie Downer for me trying this as the last one, but I just wasn't blown away by it. It's just the seasoning, the flavor was just a great big meh. I didn't really think much of it either way. But again, the Carroll Shelby's, it's not terrible. It's just that, the other options to me seem better. So now it's time for some comparisons and conclusions. And the first thing I want to note here is that for all of these, I used a soft taco for each of them. Used the same type of cheddar cheese, same type of tomato diced up, same type of iceberg lettuce. Type of ground beef used was always the same. It was the HEB Brand, 80% lean, only 20% fat ground beef. So it was used the same every single time. And in terms of conclusions and, looking back on all these, the HEB Brand is, of course, the best value, only 58 cents for a packet. And it has a really good taste. And so I'd say that was a pretty good choice. For the Watkins one, I think it was good, but it does cost a lot more, and I'm not sure it was really worth it compared to the other options available. The Siete, the spicy taco seasoning, was excellent. I think it's expensive, but I think it's worth it for a special occasion. The McCormick original taco, just okay. I think it's another case. It's like I said earlier. If you're someplace where you can't get HEB brand or some sort of generic brand that's comparative in taste, McCormick's probably something that's going to be pretty reliable, affordable. It's probably got a pretty good taste. So in that circumstance, I would say you should go for it, if that's what you're looking for. Otherwise, something like the HEB brand is probably going to be a better bet because it's going to be an equivalent taste but less expensive. Now for the Lawry, I think it was just okay. Ultimately, my conclusion is I don't think it really stood out. I don't think I would try it again. I thought it was just kind of meh, It's just not worth the extra expense. Now for the Pioneer Brand, that was really good. I mean, it was like more expensive than, the HEB brand. Not much more expensive than McCormick. I mean, only a penny more. Although I hear we're phasing out the penny now, so I'm not sure that really is going to count for much longer. But in any case, the Pioneer Brand, I think that was worth buying. I think that was worth trying. I think that was a good, solid choice. Now, the El Paso brand, to me, I mean, I have in my notes here that the taste was good, but it really wasn't, excellent. I'm kind of meh on this. I don't think it's really worth it. Now that I think about it, though, I think the one caveat to add here is that at 97 cents for a packet of El Paso, it's not a bad choice if, you don't have, an HEB brand around and maybe they're out of McCormick or something. El Paso was not inedible. It just wasn't, it just wasn't that good. It just wasn't great. Now, Kinder's was absolutely excellent. I think of all the ones I tried, I think this was one of the best. I think this was probably second best, only to Cholula. And I'd say it's totally worth it. I think this was great. For the Taco Bell seasoning, I mean, I don't think it's worth it. Sorry, Taco Bell. Now, for the Cholula, I mean, this was the most unique. I think this is clearly the winner. If there had to be, a World Cup of taco seasonings, I think Cholula would win. I think they get gold. I think they would scream goal really loudly over the course of probably 30 to 45 seconds, when you make a taco with it. That's the kind of taco seasoning that is. It's really not that much more expensive. I mean, at $1.42, it's not, prohibitive. I mean, for something, you want something unique or special, I think it's worth trying. I think it's worth giving a shot. I think it's great. Okay, so for the Siete Al Pastor, I just don't think it's worth it. I like the idea of marinating the ground beef with the taco seasoning, but the result was just meh. I really had high hopes. I wonder if it was like something psychological where I thought that because it was being marinated, it was going to taste better, and it just didn't. But I don't really know. So for the Mrs. Dash No Salt, let's just not talk about that. In fact, let's just pretend that, that never happened. Okay. Let's just move on. Okay, so for number 13, Mateo's. This was really good, not a bad choice, but, again, like a lot of these seasonings, they're good, but they're not as good as the best, They're not as good as the Cholulas or the Kinders. And so Mateo's to me, it's good. In fact, it's very good, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you have better options available. And I'm going to group 13 and 14 together here because they're both Carroll Shelby's, just different types of the same taco seasoning brand. And in both cases, these were just real mess to me. Just meh, all around meh. I would say not worth it. I don't think I'm going to be buying that brand again. If you work there or something, or if you like it, I mean that's okay. I guess just for my palate, it wasn't good. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I wasn't impressed. I'm really sorry to say. Just being honest, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. Anyway, I guess that's... So to recap here, the ones that I recommend trying for taco seasonings are the HEB brand, if you happen to live near an HEB and it's available. Otherwise, McCormick's probably not a bad substitute. The Siete, the spicy taco seasoning, I think that's worth a shot. The Pioneer brand taco seasoning, I thought that was pretty good. I thought that it was also pretty affordable because it doesn't cost much more than, say, McCormick. And it's a really good quality taste. Now, the Kinders, I also recommend. I think that's worth trying. I think that was really spicy, really excellent, strong, bold flavor. And, of course, the Cholula, to me, it's clearly the winner here. If you see it, I recommend giving it a shot. $1 with 42 cents. If that's affordable for you, I mean, my opinion is go for it. Give it a try. I guess that's really all I have to say for the conclusions for now. So if you're still watching, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked it. Stay tuned for more videos from JPL Orange Cuisine. And until next time, I bid you adieu. Video to menu.